this. I think this is a really cool thing with using Loopback 2 and why I think it's such a worthy purchase. It's $99, I think, right now. And I think if you're on the MacBook, you want to use Koala on the MacBook, you want to use instruments that you like that are quality instruments, you don't want to use a DAW, but you don't mind using Koala, then this is a great opportunity, a great fix for that. As well as if you prefer to use hardware and want to use your you want to be able to record your instruments into Koala. Now I'm going to show you a few things. Now, if you're a freeform creator, and I say that meaning that you're not structured in the sense of you're trying to make a 4/4 type song, whether it be dance music, hip hop, whatever, and you're doing ambient, it's super simple because you can just freeform play. You can press record and start playing. You can press replay. You can press right and just send it. Now, the way you do this is the various sources. In mine, it says various sources because that's what I called it. You can call it whatever you want. I'm using just a straight pass through to the Zoom, right? So any audio is going to pass through. If I turn the metronome on, it's going to pass through. So how am I going to be able to record without a metronome? That's going to be weird. Well, I'm going to show you just how to do that and fix it. So there's a few things you got to remember. Number one, you need two devices. And what I mean by that is one device can pass all the audio through. That's fine. It can be your output device. The other device needs to not pass the audio through. It passes the audio through, but not through the output. In other words, you can't share the same source. So it has to be two virtual devices. So it's easy if you click the plus down here, you create a separate device, you put all your instruments, excuse me, on that device. So for instance, I have Trillion, right? That's there. So I did Pigments and recorded in this initially. Here you can see it better if I. So this is the S4, just so you know, and Pigments, and I'm recording them through live. Now I played that with no metronome, okay? I just used my internal time, right, to do that. And that works easy. But when you want to play with a metronome, how are we going to do it? So let's get to that now. All right, so in Koala now, this only works on the Mac version on the desktop because the iOS version, while you can select the output as far as I know, I think the input, you have to go through the AUV3 to use it. With this one, you don't. It's just like input, output, see? So it works pretty good. I cannot use the Zoom L6 output or it will record into it. So what you have to do is set up one called Instruments. Now Instruments will allow me to play. Now if I talk, the microphone probably will record in too. So I have to be able to turn the mic off when I do that, which I'll do manually. It's not a problem. But yeah, so here we go. So let's say I want to play. And so here's some drums. By the way, when you're on Koala in desktop too, it's pretty simple. If you have your drums in a folder somewhere, you just drag and drop them. And a side note too, if you have the launch key, Mark IV, and this could be for any controller, I just don't know all the controllers, right? So for the launch key, if you set it to channel 10, the MIDI in Koala, here, let me show you. So see how you have all, if you set it to all, then your keys and everything you play is going to play the Koala pads. But if you set it to 10 on this particular controller, now the pads can be the drums. Right? So then you could play in your drums, similar to this right here. So that's just me playing them in. So you could create a drum track first. Some people work that way. I don't. Um, my drums are tend to be the last thing I do if I add drums. So how do we fix that? Well, again, the instruments is going to be the key here. So when I'm using the instruments, if I press record here, you see, you notice you don't capture my voice. So let me do it again. See right here, I'm talking. Nothing's coming through. It's only picking up from this instrument device. But if I press the bass, now you're only getting the bass. So what that means is if you set up an instrument channel, you set up the regular channel that you're going to pass through all the audio. Now you don't necessarily have to set up a voice channel like I have on a separate thing because I'm trying to use it to record these videos and make the audio better for you. But let me delete that. But you could have another track that has your microphone, whatever you want to do. So what this means is that the metronome can now click and won't record normal my voice. So I'm talking and while it's recording and the click is going, I'm gonna turn the click off. Now look, I'm gonna be quiet so you can hear. There's nothing there. So that is a great thing because now if you want to play to the timing, you just turn the metronome on with the play and just put it on a regular track, or if you want to play over your own stuff, it's not going to record into this. See? So now you can play. All right. So we stopped it there. So now there's the bass. So all I have to do is play and drop it right in the sequence and I'm good. So remember, it's going to capture what it thinks is the first spot. But if you start this early or whatever, then obviously it's going to be off. So you want to make sure that you put it in the spot you want it to be in, right? Because it's not perfect right there. So you need to make those adjustments. And that's the same way you would do with the SP404. You have to make the adjustments, the timing and stuff. It's not going to record it to this loop exactly. You're just recording it in here, and then you're going to place it where you want it to start in the loop. And that's pretty much what I wanted to show you. I know it took a little while, but you need to see that you need Loopback to do it. If you do it any other way, you would have to use your DAW, and I don't know if the routing will allow you to set up virtual channels. Now, you may be able to do some type of virtual channel setup some other way. I can't help you with that. I'm just telling you Loopback works, and it's super simple to do. And it's worth it. If you're on desktop, the $99 is worth it. Because you're getting pretty much lifetime updates as long as you're on version 2. And I don't know, I mean, maybe down the road they'll get a version 3, but usually they do an upgrade package anyway. So if you get 2 and then 3 comes out, I'm sure you'll get a discount of some sort to be able to get 3. So they always do that. So it's great, guys. I'm just being honest. That's how I record a lot of my songs. I kind of don't, I'm not against the iPad or iPhone. I do use it. In fact, this previous challenge we did on Koala Beatcast, I actually used my phone to do it. But to be frank and honest, I use this same setup. I just attach my phone and then I record it from the computer to my phone. But I still did it on the phone. I just used the instruments on here because it was easier to pull up the instruments. Like if I want Omnisphere open, for instance, which honestly, I could just run Omnisphere and Trillion. Let's see, Omnisphere. Where is it? Oh, it must have closed down. Let me close this one and open up Omnisphere. Because Omnisphere has Keyscape, trillion, and of course omnisphere inside of it. So technically, I could set up omnisphere like this, get rid of trillion, and just do everything from omnisphere and pigments, which I like to use. So those are my main two, right, that I tend to use. If you go up here, you'll see an omnisphere. There's the trillion library. So it's the same thing. You just open it up and go find the base that you use or whatever. The only thing is you got to remember your like base legend stuff is in a different package. So that's the one downside. Yeah, so sorry, my mic, I touched the mic. So there's my base. Adjust your volume in here and then go to town recording in Koala. Pretty simple. So that is another way to use this if you don't want to use a DAW, but your computer becomes more like a sound module for you, where you can take it and utilize all your plugins as instruments, like a rack, and then just record them into whatever device you want. Now, if you get them into Koala and you want to mix and master in your DAW, the beauty is, depending on what you have, you can export stems. You can either export to Ableton, or you could just send out the stems regular and then just put them in your DAW and finish. Personally, if I can get the sound as close as I want without having to do mixing, I mean, obviously I'm going to do some mixing, but get it as close as you can. This is pretty much a win for me, because half the battle is just getting the stuff recorded. And then after that, it's like, okay, I'll throw it in this device or that device. Now, the one thing I'll say I would love to see added to this, I'm going to close these out and I'll mute this, is I would love to see an effects rack. Now, let me show you this. Audio hijack you can buy with it. I think it's like $139. So you save another $50 or something like that by doing this. In an audio hijack, you can actually use all your audio units. So if you look in here, you'll see scalar, Serato, spacecraft, etc. So you can actually make another device chain in here and use those particular ones too. So it does work, but the routing is definitely better in Loopback 2, and I think Loopback is just easier. This is nice, but I feel like this is more made for just recording your vocals, if you ask me, if that's just my opinion. But again, you can use whatever you want. You can use this one if you prefer it to have all those effects. They have their own built-in, which are really nice. I'm using the parametric EQ right here, but then you could use all your own with it. So this may be an option for you. The only thing is, so your effects are in here, but you can't use your, as far as I know, you can't, your sources. I'm not sure if I put, let me see if I make one over here. Yeah, see, if I put application, I don't see where it allows me to pick that. I was trying to see if it would do that, but I don't see it. Let me see if it's down here. Nope. And nope. All right, so that doesn't work. We're going to delete that block. But anyway, you get the point. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off on this one. Loopback 2. I think you should definitely consider it. There's a free version that you can at least try it out. And this is who is made by Rogue Amobia. And it's a wonderful tool. And I'm only promoting it because it's really just that. Like, I wouldn't even say it if it wasn't. I promise. And I've done now a few videos talking about it. So if you haven't grabbed it, get it while you can. All right, I'm out.